that pours. Do your Forrest Fenn search indoors. It's safer and it goes much faster. It's more fun than playing canasta. If you're wise and you find the blaze, you can play several times in just one day. Chase awfully, the thrill of the chase. Take your journey without ever leaving your place. It's fun for the young, it's fun for the old. Get your title to the gold when your real search for the treasure needs a break. Play Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase. Chaseopoly, the thrill of the chase.
Hey, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 18th, and we don't have time for the Treasure Hunt Amusement Park because we'd have some thrill of the chase discussion once again. How you doing, Kpro?
I'm good. I apologize. We dinner didn't happen yet, and so I was just explaining to my awesome, wonderful daughter all the things because she just came in. Dogs are barking. We have a circus, no matter what, and maybe we're all circus animals. You don't know.
All right. So I just want to
Inside joke,
remind
sorry.
everybody, Super Chat's on. If you want to show support or you have a question you want to make sure we read, make sure you thumbs up. We've already got 10 thumbs down. We haven't even started yet, but that's okay. I got the original retro shirt on. You guys remember this one from back in the day. And yeah, hey, what's up, Adam? Adam was on last program. What's up, everybody in the chat? How's everybody doing on this Thursday night? Yeah, we got updates. We got some updates. So we're going to go through all of it, answer you guys' questions. So sit back and have some fun. Mr. Clue in the house. What do you want to start with, Kpro?
Well, I think we went over so much. I think we had like 3 shows in one, plus a panel. Awesome panel. Fendi's in the house too. Hi, right back to all of you guys in there. And so there's been a ton of questions after the fact because I think we just put so much great content. And I know when I say content, that makes some of you mad. I don't mean it bad. I socialize in this chase as much as the next guy, but sometimes I get hot on the prowl of some of these things. And anyway, so let's see. If you guys have questions about Monday's show, ask them. I tried to pull this from this little known site called Hint of Riches. There are a lot of new people on there. Greg is now on there, so he can answer questions, and he did get registered. Fendi is back, and he is talking about their content. Him and Bear, his partner in crime. And so there's lots happening out there. So one of the questions that came out is, has Forrest ever commented on whether the photos were photoshopped of Jack? And so I will clarify the emails that I share. I do have an email from, let's see, let me do keyword Photoshop. And I have an email, let me pull it up, from Forrest Fenn on a certain date. Just, it might not be relevant to you guys, but some people are asking. Okay, so here's the question that I asked him. This was on August 18th. Many believe and have stepped through why they think photos of the treasure chest post-announcement were photoshopped. Dale always told me that he made adjustments to photos to make sure they looked professional. Were those photoshopped, or do you have any comments on the photos? These are the photos of Jack and Forrest, or of the ones that had come out up to that point. This was August. His answer is, none of the photos of me sitting at the table and looking of the contents of the treasure were photoshopped. What would be the purpose of doing that? F.
What would be the purpose of doing that?
But do you think it's interesting that I asked him, many believe in the step through why they think photos of the treasure chest post-announcement were photoshopped. And his answer was, none of the photos of me sitting at the table and looking at the contents of the treasure were photoshopped. He didn't say all of them.
Jack was photoshopped, obviously. He didn't mention Jack. Which
didn't mention
means
Jack's
Jack
boots on-
isn't the right find.
Dun dun dun! Breaking news.
Speaking
Well-
of Photoshop, loose screws screw says, what was the professional conclusion from the analyzed photos? Do we have an update on the
We
old
have an
book
update
one?
on that. Yes, that's on my list. So right now I'm on number 1.
Okay,
That
when we
is
get to
number
it. All
3.
right. We will address it.
So Forrest Mouth, the ones of him sitting with the treasure chest were not photoshopped. You guys take that as you will. I'll take the exact words and put it up on that little known site of hintofriches.com. Go and register, be a part of the fun. We're getting about 10 new legit people a day. There's some spammers. Just hit flag if you see those. I'm not reading every post up there. I haven't in probably a year, but I do moderate up there. Yeah, so some of you might think that's breaking news. So, but I was asked the question. I decided to bring it here. That is an email I have from Forrest. Pick it apart as you will. That is the first thing on our list. Not photoshopped per Forrest Fenn, but he did not clarify. Maybe because he didn't see them photoed or taken. He didn't see him taken. He couldn't comment to Jack's boots on the ground, but he could definitely comment to the one that he was in the pictures. I don't know. Take that as you will. Let's jump to.
Then the email said, "P.S. Nothing is as it seems." Oh,
I'm not commenting to that. Mike can comment to that because do you guys notice that I'm a little more social than Mike, but Mike has the good sources. I won't say good because source number 1. We're calling the guy that Mike's second source, which is about the nothing is what it seems. We're calling him Mr. X. Why? I don't know. I don't want to call him source number 2 because then it gets weird. I'm calling him Mr. X. That's what I have to say. Okay, so let's get okay, guys. I need to clarify something, and I really apologize to Cynthia. So up on Thor, the little known site talking about all things Forrest Fenn, there has been some discussion of Matt and Cynthia, and they were together the night of the solve, etc., etc. And I threw out, well, they did get married, at the finale, or they announced that at the finale. Those of you that were at the finale know that there was a joke about that. And the reason it was so funny, I forget that some people don't know the jokes or know some of the people well enough. Matt is married with many children. Cynthia is a gay woman. And so I even parlayed it and I was like, yeah, and Cynthia's pregnant. And people are like, what? Silly gooses. You guys are calling her in chat, Matt's lover. No, no. Cynthia and Matt are not together. They are search friends and nothing more. So I just wanted to clarify that because now it's taken a life of its own because I'm getting emails about it. I didn't know that Cynthia and Matt, when did you hear that? When did they get married? Never. They've never gotten married. Mike and I got married. They have not gotten married.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Okay, so let's go back to Photoshop. Where's the Photoshop project? I just put a post up on Thor and asked the question. So here's where it's at. So those of you that don't know, his name is Robert, and Goldilocks has been helping. I don't know if it's both of them or one of them, but anyway, and Goldilocks is in the room. So correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Goldilocks. Got together a project because it looks like initially it is obvious that the photos of the office location and boots on the ground photos up to this point have been photoshopped. But Robert didn't have enough advanced knowledge of figuring out what, why, where in the photos, etc. So he did, what do? You go and find the person if you are a proactive person, and you focus on getting the vax. So he did a GoFundMe. It was funded in less than a week. Those that donated were invited into a Zoom where the major decisions were being kind of walked through, which was what company to select, going through all of that. And actually, I took notes during the time so I can answer any questions. I was in the Zoom, so let me get to, okay. So let's see. there were 4 companies that were reviewed. Some were overseas, some were here. The credentials, it was not just here's the company name, credentials of people, what type of software they use. A little bit went over my head because I'm not that techie person, as you know. That was discussed and pretty much honed in pretty quickly because it was obvious there was kind of a lead dog, if you will. Then we got into the discussion of which photos. So there's the one from boots on the ground chest where the chest is opened and like the stick is in there, to several that were at the office with Jack and Forrest, one that had a lot of stuff all over the desk, and we kind of went back and forth about which ones would be good and why. I do not actually know which 2 were selected because I had to leave. I think I had to pick up kids or something. But I was in the discussion for about an hour. Everybody in there agreed on pretty much everything. Good banter and good discussion. But they were very transparent, very thorough. And they were kind of ready. It went smoothly because they had done their homework. So they did select 2 photos. I don't know which 2 they are though. I know one was the boots on the ground one. I don't know. They were debating between which one from the office. And pretty cool. They funded it. They notified the company. They've selected the company. They gave the money to the company, and we are now in the next step, which is the guy's analyzing it, or girl, or whoever it is now analyzing it. So the results are going to be sent to 5 different independent searchers to ensure that we're all seeing the same thing. There's no shenanigans, that sort of thing. I am one of them. They know that I'm shenanigans left and right. So there are others on the list, but those that then could disseminate to the rest of the community. We'll do a show on it. That should be the first week of April. So we're about 2 weeks out. I don't know if discussion's going back and forth. I don't really know much more than that, other than we are now in a little bit of a waiting game. That's all, which is they're doing their good work. They've been paid. They've been doing their good work. There is a report that will come. Just leave her alone, babe. She's not having a good night. We have an older little puppy dog. So we are now in kind of the final stages. So we will see. We will see what comes out of it April 5th. What they will say, from what I understand, because Jack's already weighed in and said, you're not going to get any information because I took photos of the photo. You guys aren't going to get anything, kind of thing. They can actually look at pixelization, resolution. I don't know all the technical terms. It is not just you look at metadata. Oh, there's nothing there. If a picture is manipulated, they can actually see what the shapes were, that sort of thing. So anyway, that is the update on the Photoshop. So lots of people are like, what happened to that? That is what happened. And they have been moving it along. Good on them. What questions do you have about that, Michael? If that's your real name.
Let's see here.
Did I do good, Daddy?
I'd say so far they're doing good with the Photoshop analysis, but we'll see what comes back. So all we can do is wait and see on that one. I don't think anything's going to come back. I don't think any of them are Photoshopped, but and again, I could be wrong, right?
Well, I think they've already shown that it's Photoshop, but there was one picture way back in the day, and that's the one that I was referring to with Dale, where Forrest was sitting at his computer and the cup was taken out. And I wrote Dale and I said, why is it everybody saying it's Photoshopped? And he's like, well, it is. He goes, I took the cup out because it didn't look right. I messed a little bit with the lighting, so it made Forrest look a little bit better. He's like, not anything that mattered, but yeah, I do touch-ups because he's like a professional photographer type. So he can do all those, like when you have red eyes, they can take the red eyes out. I know that's back 20 years ago, but there's other things. So yeah, there's that. So it looks like it's all working its way through. All things good. I actually don't think. I think it will come back Photoshopped and there won't be anything of substance to it. But O is really taking a beating by a few, and I don't like that. So he has a place to discuss it on Hint of Riches, and he will not get.
Shout out to O.
Yeah, he will not get. A few people have been banned. Some people just got off of banning for that. Remember why? Just, it's okay to say I don't agree or whatever, but I don't think O is shaming Forrest, the veteran's name. It's okay if we question some things. I actually think it's a
Yeah,
nothing burger, but
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
right.
But you know, some people they just they do what they got to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the next one. So let's talk next. Let's talk about Dan Barbarosi's book. So we have Dan Barbarosi. Those of you that don't know, he has been in the community for 5 years, I think, for a long, long, long time. He has interviews with Forrest. He has interviews with Jack. I mean, that's the big one. So those of you that don't know, what he did was there's a way on Medium where you can say, I think something is factually incorrect and notify the author when the Medium article came out. So he knew the tricks of the trade when it came to Medium, and he got a hold of Jack before we knew his name was Jack, before Dan knew he was Jack. So he he talked with Jack. So he did actually have verbal conversations via phone, I'm assuming. I don't know. I don't think it was Zoom or anything like that, but probably phone. And he got, I've talked to Dan, he got hours and hours and hours of discussion with Jack.
What's his name?
Dan Barbarosi. He reached out to us.
Max.
But I did pre-order the book, even though I have no idea who he is. I did pre-order the book. So
yeah, so he seemed like a good guy in that he is reporting out a lot of things in the hunt. And he was well known. He had been interviewed Forrest. I mean, just every searcher you can think of. He did tell me we're in the book, but we didn't respond to him. It was just too busy at that time. We were delivering hard-hitting content. I did not get a chance to talk with him. So here's the big kind of the ahas out of it. He did get hours and hours and hours of, he doesn't think that anything is going to be groundbreaking to the average reader. He thinks it's going to be a lot of the things that are already out now. He was able to kind of get everything up to date up to now. But for the people that are kind of into the search, there's probably going to be some details that, or he knows there's going to be some details that are going to be really interesting to us. Like if you didn't know about the Forrest Fenn hunt and you're just reading the book, do you care about if there was a stick on top or not a stick on top, or it was a rusty key or whatever? No, but for but for us, we are going to what do? We just love every little detail. So he was very nice. He was very professional. And he just said, I don't want to say breaking news or anything rocking the nation, but he says there's going to be a ton of detail because he got a ton of time with them. He felt like Jack wanted to talk with someone, and he's so limited in who he chooses to actually talk with, that I think Dan will be, Dan's book will be a good one, I think. He is going into all sides of the chase. And so this is not just going to be a book on all the positives. There's going to be a lot there, if you will. So, okay. His book, though, is going to come out in June. He will start to do just a couple weeks before that. He'll be, it's a regular circuit, junket, whatever we call it. He said Jack definitely wants to keep the fate of the spot protected. Dan does not know the final location of the treasure chest. He wants to make that clear. And he does say he talked to him relatively recently because it was like the final edit. And he said Jack's annoyed with these conspiracies. He found it. He thinks everybody should be like, okay, we found it. We have enough. Kind of like Forrest. He's confused by why anybody's even caring at this point. Like, it's found, move on, kind of thing. Was there any info where all the jewels and diamonds was? Didn't Jack see those in the photos? And Forrest? Did Barbarosi meet Jack? So William, I don't know about the jewels and diamonds question. That'd be an interesting one. Nomadic Madman, not that I'm aware of. I don't believe that Jack met Dan. I believe, though, I think they live in the same city or lived at one time in the same city. I don't know where Jack is. I don't think they met in person. I think it was over the phone. But I don't have that 100% confirmed, but I just kind of checked in with Dan just of kind of what's your timing. So I think in about a month, a little over a month, they'll start teasing the book. If you knew Tony, I made a joke last time. It was not appropriate, so I won't say that again. Tony, he got a look at the book, and it sounds like he's it's going to be scandalous. Dun dun dun.
Oh, that Tony, yeah. I heard he said this.
Don't write me a book, kid.
Maybe it's a little long. I don't know what that means, but maybe it's a little long.
Yeah. Let's see. That is really all the things with Dan, discussing things with Dan. So that's coming out. We will have a lot to talk about for when it comes out. I will kind of speed read through it, as I know many of you will. So that is the update on, I'm going to actually let that one through, Albert, because I said it. So that is the information on Dan. Okay, so you guys keep asking questions as we go. I'm going to zip through about 6 or 7 more things, or maybe 2 or 3. I don't know.
Smack you in the mouth. I'm Neil Diamond.
That's one of my favorites. I haven't played that in a long time. All right, and I'll give a little update as well on the Nothing Is As It Seems, but we'll do that.
Okay, hold on. You want to do that now? I'll take a breath.
Yeah, I can do it now. All right.
I wish you weren't a liar.
That's what people are telling me, apparently. But no. So here's the deal. Some people have it wrong as far as the bet. No, that wasn't me, Hui. Some people have it wrong as far as the bet, in that they're like, what was the bet? What's going on? So this searcher basically said, I know it's in Montana. And I didn't have a state. It's not like I said, no, it's in Wyoming. And he said Montana. He just said, I'll bet you it's in Montana. That was it. I didn't have a state. So I said, yeah, I'll take that bet. And then he was obviously wrong. But then Forrest sends him this email that says nothing is as it seems. So what I was going to do is show you guys, we're back in 2013 at the Moby Dickens bookstore. Forrest recited that poem. And at the poem about the slumber and all that, he says nothing is as it seems. He says, and nothing is as it seems. But guess what? That video is gone because AGK has removed all their videos. Well, they're on private. So I just checked it just now, and for some reason, all their videos are on private. So
yeah, something happened last night. Maybe they were sabotaged again or whatever. But
I
he
hope they
said
weren't
that
hacked
in
again.
our video. Or
yeah, I'll have to find that one. Is that right? I didn't know.
In our interview, why do you interface with searchers? Because you get such heat for it. What else do I have left? And then he turns and it's like, the night with marble sumters. Nothing's what it seems at the end. Whatever that whole poem is. It's there. It's there.
I can find it, then I will play it on Monday's show. Forrest Fenn Treasure Found Monday night. I will play it. So is it just a fun little saying he has in this poem? He likes poetry, or has he been trying to tell us something? Is he trying to get something through to the searchers since 2013? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way to lean at this point. I did reach out to the searcher who told me about this email and said, you got to show it. The community wants you to show it. And he said, well, first he'd have to redact a bunch of it because it's a long email between him and Forrest. It has other things that have nothing to do with the bet. And I said, that's fine, but he's still thinking about it. So I don't know if he's going to or not. Go ahead, Kpro.
That's what I was going to ask. Cowlazars, nobody believes you. They don't believe you unless you actually say or show it. But you clarified that. Thank you for the clarification. You know, Greg travels around the country, brings in these huge pictures. I finally start sharing these emails between Forrest and I. And what do? You crash the party with the biggest breaking news with just talking. And everybody knows you're not a shenanigan person. So, yeah. Why is everybody taking everything down? I don't know. Something happened right after their game show night last night, I heard. I don't know why they're all down. Maybe another Russian hacker. You don't know. I don't know. I have not. AGK is transitioning to a game site. Something. They would get enough revenue off of people viewing the. I'll have to check in.
Hashtag transitioning. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that is. Mike's breaking.
Piece of crap. It doesn't work.
That's what I said when I tried to go to their video and it didn't play. So.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to see the screenshot because for Mr. X, if we have proof Forrest Fenn said it, that would be huge. But here's the thing. Somebody can just type up what looks like or do a screen
it could be
capture.
Photoshop. Maybe we give it to to do photo analysis.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Adam, actually, he said he's been sitting on that bomb for a while. He only got that email or that text or whatever it was in the last week.
This just happened. Yeah,
This
this
just
isn't a
happened.
long thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, guess who I heard from? And I knew the searcher's name. And I'm like, really? I said, what? And then he said, and I was like, oh, come on. Don't do this to us. This is what happens when Cynthia starts putting stuff out. That's what happens.
Cynthia, eh?
I feel like I bought a ticket to a train wreck.
No, don't say that about Cynthia. Her videos are good. Go check her out, Cynthia Meacham on YouTube, and she's sharing her emails with Forrest too. So we have all crossed that bridge, and there ain't no going back at this point. So let's just keep going and see where it takes us. We'll see.
Okay, so recapping, I showed those emails of June 6th. Lot to talk over on Thor. Okay, I have some more stuff in my inboxes. Oh, okay. Steve sent the. Let me look. He sent me. I'm gonna probably botch it. He sent me the poems. It is a poem. It is a.
Oh, the poem that Forrest quotes.
Yes,
Oh,
but
okay.
he only did part of it because damn, that's a long poem. So I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look at it later and get the one little excerpt of it. So, but thank you for that. That will help, and we'll put it in the info below. Yeah, Albert, I think we've all been loving Cynthia's conversations. The next one should be interesting too. I'm gonna let her. I will comment after we see what she has to say. Okay, so let's see. The next one, tell me not in
There it
mournful
is.
numbers, life is but an empty dream, for the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. I thought it was never.
And he
Never
said
what they
never in the Moby Dickens. He said, and things are never what they seem.
Yeah.
So, he said it. It's poetry. Maybe he's just quoting poetry, or maybe it means something. We'll see.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. There is, I won't say a new lawsuit, I will say an updated lawsuit. There was an lawsuit back, I want to say 2015, 16. It was actually not against Forrest Fenn, it was against the government. I didn't read all of it. I don't understand all of it, but basically it was not filed as Forrest as the plaintiff, much like one of the other lawsuits out of Chicago. It was against the government, saying that Forrest, this was in partnership with the president and the Senate or the House or the CIA, or I didn't follow all of it. And basically this whole treasure hunt was something in relation to the government, a government conspiracy. It was dismissed, it seemed, sometime last year. That person has put it on appeal. I was put on with about 50 other reporters of the appeal. It is lengthy. There's lots of all of it. I don't follow it enough to understand it. I'll just say that's as much information that I have. The person has contacted me. I have not made contact back. Again, I don't understand it enough, and I don't believe this treasure hunt was anything government related, conspiracy, etc. But just know in general, his name does pop up in it because this was all a conspiracy by the government. I don't know what to say. I just report the facts, and there they are.
That's it. We tell them like we see them, everybody. You guys do with that what you want. But thank you for joining us tonight for the little Forrest Fenn discussion, thrill the chase discussion.
Yeah. Okay. So then a couple of others that are just the happenings in the community is this Sunday over on Treasure Seekers. Greg was on last Sunday. He did his show, and then Monday we had him on. He went to the gallery and got an interview with the gallery owners, from what I understand, or someone in the gallery, and they did and gave him a tour. Kind of cool because they're actually going to go over. There's my little doggy. They're going to go over what searchers have done to the gallery. I guess they thought it was under one of the statues and knocked over a statue. They've done a lot of damage. So it kind of gives just more insight into the Chase community, where Santa Fe is at. They had there's a lot of positive and negative opinions of the Forrest and the treasure hunt. Like, and so check it out. They do their first hour though of kind of chit chat in the community, and then they hit the hard hitting content about an hour in. So, and he's put it in the description box, so feel free to check that out. That should be interesting because it's actual up to date information as of this last week. Okay.
We had a request to see what the shirt said. This is the
okay.
shirt, everybody.
I thought you were just
retro.
Okay. Okay. Two others. The first is somebody asked up on Thorin, so I want to clarify. If your emails from Forrest said private, please, why are you putting it out? Are you betraying him? And I'm just going to give you my answer. I don't take it or leave it, but this is Forrest was very clear with me that there are certain things that he wanted private during the chase, after the chase, during his lifetime. Very similar to Dale, there were some things that he was okay with after he passed. He wasn't okay with before he passed. Forrest has been very clear to me the things that he is not okay ever coming out. And they're just some private things. Like I told him the same thing about, he knew things about my family and my life. And there are certain things that he's like, this would just be never. But if he said private, please, or personal or confidential, that meant during his lifetime. After that, he's like, I can't control much after I die. The things that I will try to control, I will, with his, who gets what and how all that works. But he was pretty a matter of fact about his passing. It was, I think he knew. But I think he knew, he was 90. It wasn't early. My mom passed relatively early, and it was a surprise. It was a shock. So that's where I just think that there's a difference between the two. So that's why I think it's okay now. There's certain things that I can put out that as long as it doesn't damage the family, I think because I respect his family, we're searching for the final spot. And I think it's great if we can get that through some of these emails that I don't think he would care at this point. So that is my rationale. It might be right, it might be wrong, but that's what I do. So, okay. The last ones is I've had a few searchers reach out and see if I would be willing to reach out to Center of the West to see if we could get some sort of display or something at in Santa Fe, or I'm sorry, in the Center of the West up in Wyoming. I did ask Forrest if we could do something in Santa Fe. He said, no, I'd be embarrassed by that. Please don't. Forrest is a major donor at Center of the West. I don't know if it's time at this point. I think so many things are happening. I do think we could definitely fundraise and do that. I think people would want to contribute. I think it'd be interesting to see what that looks like, but I don't think it's appropriate yet. So I want to see where things play out with the rest of, because it'd be something we need to check with the family. That might play a part in whatever Jack is still indicating, or at least he did to me about, I'd say a week and a half ago. He is still exploring the option that Forrest wanted. He said even if it gets him less money, he is trying to make that happen. That might be Center of the West. So I don't think until we know those pieces, and those pieces aren't out yet, I don't think it's the right time. What do you think, Cowlazars?
I don't know if people are going to donate for that. I mean, you could try it. Of course, anybody could just give it a shot. But, and what's it for again? What would we be donating for?
It would either be a bust, a display, maybe something, a tribute to Forrest at the Center of the West.
You know what? I take that back. If you could get the permission and actually show people ahead of time what it is, I don't think people, because everybody that donates is going to want to have input. I think it should be a plaque, and I think the poem should be on it, and I want this on it. If you could say this is what it is, like a picture of it, there's no discussion. They gave it the okay. This is what it's going to be. Here's the link if you want to donate. I think that would be better. And then people can look at it and decide if they think it's appropriate or not. I think it's a good idea, meaning I wish somebody would do it. I don't know if trying to do a GoFundMe and raise money is going to work, but it would be cool if somebody could do something like that, a plaque, a memorial, something. I don't know, something.
Yeah, that's how I feel. but I think we need to wait a little bit until other things settle. That is all. So, and the last one is I've had quite a few people reach out about the FOIA. That if you guys remember FOIA Gate from what, 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 3, 4 years ago. Oh, gosh, it's been a while.
FOIA Gate.
FOIA Gate. Forrest's home was raided by, it was a joint raid by the FBI and BLM. And at that time, the treasure chest and its contents was inventory. I went through the process of the FOIA. Other people had gotten into the FOIA process, but they didn't get much. They got the redacted version. They didn't get pictures. They didn't get the inventory. This was in 2009. So it was a year before he actually hid the chest. Forrest became aware of it. A few searchers were upset that I would do it, even though Forrest was the one that's like, I wonder why nobody has done that. Wink, wink. And he knew I'd been a part of a FOIA. So he asked me to not in his lifetime, before he passes, please do not go forward with it. I was actually in the final part of getting the full FOIA. I know others had done it, but they didn't. You really have to know the process to do it right, where you get something of meaning back. Some people have revisited that with me of now that it is out, or now that Forrest had passed and the treasure hunt is over, is that something that you would explore again? I don't know. And maybe that's a question I want to ask all of you guys. I'm just thinking, for what reason? I mean, the treasure hunt's over. I thought maybe it could be something shared to get us closer. I don't know. What do you think, Cowlazars? You are my voice of reason.
Yeah, what would be the point? I mean, the only thing you're going to get, because the only thing you'd be going for is pictures of that chest and what was in it at the time of the raid, not anything else in the vault, just what was inside the chest. So, but the problem is this was before he hit it. He could have taken things out. He could have put things in. It's not like it's a definitive collection. It would be interesting. It's even if we just got pictures of the gold coins, what year, a picture of the front and back of each gold coin or something. And it would probably help Jack out. People might have an idea of what they're bidding on whenever he puts it up for auction or whatever he's going to do with it. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wait, what if I ask Jack and he goes, absolutely not. Do not do that. I just stop it. Stop. Then I'd want to.
Yeah,
just kidding, Jack. I just kid. Jack.
Maybe there's
Jack,
a picture
smile.
of the escort instructions that were in the chest. You know what I mean? Yeah, it would be interesting. But again, what are we going to get? But we would definitely go live and show everybody. So not sure how much time and money it would cost in order to get it accomplished this time.
Yeah, because it was at the time that I decided to table it, it was, I think it was 1 month or 6 months. And then after that, you basically have to start all over again. But the cool part was there was some information that the FBI had. There's certain information that BLM had. I had to maneuver that. I wouldn't have to go back and forth I went back and forth for almost a year between the FBI and BLM. They even did the security background check that I didn't want it because I'm a terrorist that's doing something bad with it. I had to give them everything to really kind of get to that next step. So yeah, I was in the final step of here's the information, just confirm that you want it sent, because my background cleared and I didn't. So yeah, Forrest stated we need to find the first clue, where the first clue is located, and then the rest is academic. Why academic? I didn't remember him saying that. I still think Earthquake Lake has something to do with it. Maybe. I didn't know. I heard him say easier. I've never heard him use the word academic. I might be wrong, though.
That was in Cynthia's video. Yeah, Cynthia posted that where he said that from an email maybe or something. I don't know if she actually played it. But yeah, I'm trying to think. What would that mean?
Oh, I think it means it gets a lot easier. Like once you figured out WWWH, I just wonder if that's special to him. But then there's a canyon, and then you take it down, and then it was 9 spots from there. There's no question. There is a documentarian that has a clip that I recently saw that was like, the 8th clue is the blaze, and the 9th clue is look quickly down, and the first one's WWWH. So he pretty much has said, I mean, he said it as plain as day. So I think once you have the starting point, then it's just how many canyons can be there? I mean, which way is down, and you just kind of go from there. And it sounds like Jack had it He would have picked it up first time only 3 weeks in if it wasn't for the broken blaze.
Well, and I think this whole treasure hunt has been a lesson that we just overcomplicate the shit out of everything. It was 9 clues, 1 foot in front of the other, walk from one clue to clue. Oh no, it's metaphysical, it's metaphorical, it's the Flywater book, it's all these different things. And I think it was just a lot easier than what people think. A couple of people have posted, Candy was one, and I think maybe Cynthia, I saw it somewhere else, where Forrest said, yeah, I'll put the solution out and people will see how easy the clues were. This was not a difficult thing. It was difficult to find that starting location, but I just think all these crazy ideas, it was literal. The poem was literal, 9 locations.
No, but how do we know that?
I know, because that's what I think. It's just my opinion.
No, that he wrote, that was a email to Stephanie, that he wrote that to Stephanie, that he has said that, and to Jax has said that, and then provides no backup or proof to it when people went 10 years. I'm sorry, though I agree with you when we actually see it, but proofs if it was the GPS solve, I would have gone, damn, that was a lot easier than I thought. No question. But we have no proof of that. So unless Jack puts that out, we're all going to be here forever, Jack. I'm going to be 90 years old doing this damn show every Monday. And we're going to be talking about Monday and Thursdays. And we may even go to Fridays and Saturdays. We're not going anywhere until we get a little bit more. You don't owe us that, but we don't owe you anything. We will continue to do this. Sorry, I had an exchange with Jack today and we're trying to keep cordial, but I'm frustrated by you, Jack. And I know you're frustrated by me and the whole community. And I know this is hard on you, but it's hard on all of us in a much lesser way. I'm not going to undermine what Jack is going through. I know how many of you searchers have sent me his family information, telephone numbers, addresses, pictures of his family, vacations that they have taken in the past, all of that. I'm not sharing any of that. Every time I see an inappropriate video or something wrong, I flag those. It's not okay to overstep. But that's 7%. The 93% of us deserve something more. I know you've dug in. You're not going to do it for whatever reason. But giving us the breadcrumbs, I think, is becoming more tiresome to searchers. So I think it went from very positive to, I think everybody doesn't like this cryptic stuff. And I know he's getting the brunt of it from maybe 90% of the community now. And it used to be very positive. But Jack did that. It's on Jack. It's not because we have a show. It's not because there's social media outlets like Reddit or Thor or whoever that can discuss it. We're going to discuss what the content is, and the content is a bunch of malarkey. That's the best word I can come up with at this time. But I respect you, Jack. I know you're going through a lot. I don't agree with how you're doing things. I don't have to agree, but I agree I have a right to be here and to talk about it. Off my soapbox now. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, and Jack probably thinks this.
Don't be a player hater.
We're not player hating on you, Jack. You found it. Congratulations. You own it. You know, do what you got to do with it and all that. It's just information would be nice, and information not talking around something. Like Covert One just said it wasn't 9 locations. We all have our own opinions on what the poem meant and what it could mean. Yeah. What was the blaze? You already said it was damaged. I'd even say, yeah, well, no, I'm not going to go there. But yeah, what was the blaze? Was it a rock made out of rock, out of wood, out of something, out of this, out of that? Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Hypothetically, you guys, and there is 246 of you watching. Here is something that I thought could be rather interesting. So at this point, I think a lot of people, what's a 7%er? Oh, Nicholas. Probably a lot of us. So here is something that I think could be valuable, but you guys tell me if I'm wrong. I believe if we could prove that Jack had no previous relationship with Forrest other than an email that he sent or a phone call, whatever he did, he wasn't hired by the family. He traveled to Wyoming, picked up the treasure chest, took it down to Forrest in New Mexico. Those 5 things, 6 things, however many, worded whichever way. If Jack was willing to do a lie detector test that said those things, he wasn't hired by the family, he searched boots on the ground, he picked it up, no help from anyone else. I mean, it wasn't a conspiracy with the family, etc. If you got those 5 answers, would you 100% agree then he's the finder? Give me a yes or no in chat. Because I'm curious, because I know a lot of very sane people are doubting those things. They believe it was in New Mexico. They believe it was in Montana. They believe that there's something more to it. They believe Forrest when
It
he
was
said,
never out there to begin with.
well, and they believe that Forrest, nothing's what it seems. That means that Jack's not the finder. Jack was hired by the family. Forrest was going to die, and so he had to end this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you had those answers, would you feel 100% then Jack's the finder?
Well, the 7% aren't going to believe anything. You could have
Yeah, let's take the 7%
forget
because
about that.
none of the 7%
Most
watch us.
reasonable people would, yes, I believe they would believe it. If there was a lie detector test, it was, administered by a third independent party. Yes. And they said, Jack's telling the truth. That'd be good enough for me. Yes. It's not admissible in court. We know that, but it's the court of public opinion that we're talking about.
Okay. You guys are saying yes, no, maybe, yes, no, maybe, no, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I pitched that to Jack. Okay, you guys, I guess you and him are on the same page. It probably wouldn't change people's mind. The people that doubt him are going to continue to doubt him. The people that aren't. Like Greg has said, if he comes up with anything at this point, it's been too long. He's not going to trust any of it. I don't know. I just think if he went under, I know it's not admissible because then people could say he beat the box or this or that. Okay, maybe. That was my thought. Because I'm thinking, here's my thoughts. I believe there is a legal reason why Jack is not telling us the solution. I actually believe it was in the park. It was in a closed area, and he cannot put it out without risking the treasure chest. So I'm trying to figure out how most of us can get closure without knowing the solution, that Jack was actually the solver. Because there's still that 1% of me. It's only 1%. I knew Forrest was sick. I knew Forrest wanted the chase over before he passed because he didn't want all us crazy people dealing with his family. He wanted his family to have peace. I know there were some things said on June 6th that weren't accurate. I know Forrest wanted the information out. I know all these things. It's only 1% now. It used to be about 70-30, and then it went 50-50. Now it's only 99-1. I still have doubts, and I know Forrest. So I'm just trying to figure out a creative way that we can get some answers from Jack that he'd be willing to do. He doesn't owe us. That would make us feel good, but also at the same time, or get closure, I shouldn't say feel good, but not expose legally Jack to his situation. It's not because, somebody's going to like trample the forest or whatever he says. There's a legal reason, in my opinion.
Well, Nick Curran says, will a quick search tell me what a 7%er is or the origin of the phrase? Tell people what we mean by 7%. And actually, where did that come from? I don't know.
So Forrest said that back in 2016. So there are some searchers that take crazy to a whole different level. We kind of joke around, we're all crazy because we're treasure hunters. But he says he believes 7% of the population is certifiably insane. There is a man that believes that Forrest's granddaughter was the actual treasure, and if you held her for ransom and then you kidnapped her and you contacted Forrest, he would give you the treasure chest and you would give the granddaughter back. There are some others, I won't go into detail. Certifiably insane is how he says it. So at kind of a whole different level. So that became known as you're a 7%er. As people continue to get arrested, as people continue to die, people continue to lose their family, lose their life, lose their situations, give it all up kind of thing. So it affectionately is known as you're a 7%er. I always say we're all a little crazy, but this is kind of a whole different level. If you're breaking into Forrest's home, if you're trying to kidnap somebody, if you're willing to give up your whole life, that's, I got a lot of Kpros. Why would Jack have to ask permission to get the chest if it was in Yellowstone? Lisa, I have an answer for that, and it's just my opinion. I believe inside the chest, it said, do not take this. If you ask me for explicit permission, this is not lost. You're just bringing me back my item. Do not take this, or that could risk it, because I can also give you up-to-date information on before you take this. Then Jack left the park, went to wherever he was staying, and contacted Forrest and said, here's a picture. I'm supposed to contact you. And Forrest said, you have explicit permission. It is no longer a lost item. But there's been crazy coming to town. You've got to come down here. Will you come and visit me? And I'll give you everything up to date. I believe he said, you found it in a closed area. of the park, that could risk everything. I've said all along, and I knew this. If you could see in the first 6, 7, 8 years, I said I'm going to give out the solution, but the last couple years I haven't, because the area I think it's in has been closed for about 2 years. That's what I think happened. So I think it goes from, so I did, Lisa, to follow up too, I spent about 2 months down a rabbit hole of, in Yellowstone, what is considered, actually, according to the type of land, national forest, national park, state, etc., what if you lost something, lost, abandoned, stolen, there's like 5 categories. What happens to it? What notifications do you have to give? When in Yellowstone, you are supposed to take anything that is lost directly to the superintendent. No questions asked. Well, it's lost, or it could be considered lost, unless there's instructions that say, contact me. If you contact Forrest and say, this is yours, he can say, it's no longer lost, abandoned. It's not under any of those. It's mine. Come and bring it to me. That's how he knew when the treasure chest would be found. Okay.
We did get a super chat from Mr. Billy Shaw Jr. Thank you for that $5 super chat. He says, Jack is the finder until proven otherwise. Doesn't mean we can't question stuff that doesn't pass the sniff test. Jack is annoyed, but has the chest. And yeah, I would agree with that. Jack does have the chest. He is the finder. Now, people can question how he got the chest or what he's doing with it and how did he find it and all that stuff. But yeah, you're right. Jack is the finder until proven otherwise.
Okay, Lori Barnes, I'm still way up because I saw my name. Put an ampersand or an A and then Kpro, and I will see it. Is there a statute of limitations in Yellowstone? That's a fantastic question. When we get that lawyer on, I think we should ask that question. Mike? Karen said, I'm trying to communicate with Kpro, but not getting much response. I did respond back and forth, but then there was a bunch of emails that came in and I had to go off with the kids. I'm still homeschooling, guys. And so I do apologize. I can only get to so many a day. I'm getting more now than I ever got during the chase, which is fascinating to me.
You, that's all you care about.
Exactly. Come on. You should know this by now. Okay, there's that. Where do you think it is? Jordan, I think it is in the park.
Well, it's in a vault right now.
Oh, the treasure
right?
chest. Yeah, I think it's in a park. I think, or in a vault.
We got her. In the vault. Yeah. But was it in, I mean, was it in Yellowstone? Well, somebody asked the question, why do you think Jack said, and is this substantiated that he said this, that he said, I hoped it wasn't where it was. He made something like, when I went in there the last time, I really hoped it wasn't where it was. What does that mean?
Right. Something like that. I don't know exactly. And Lisa says, but Forrest said there was no note in the chest. I don't think there was a note. I think there were legal documents. That's how, and I think this is the semantics of words that Forrest does. So I believe that there was, and Jack has said, if we believe Jack has said it. Jeff Fucker, I blame everything on Kpro. Get in line, my friend. I'm not reading that one. I think he's stuck between greed right now. Truth will set him free. MS, I believe the location is going to come out, but I don't think it's going to be by Jack.
Okay. Another super chat from Mr. Indiana Jones with a $10 super chat. And Indiana Jones says, Jack made his first tweets on Twitter in 2010 when the treasure hunt began. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder who looked that up. Maybe Indiana Jones did. He says, when I mentioned this coincidence to him through email, he removed all his 2010 and 2011 tweets within 3 days. Strange. Do we want to mention the other thing that somebody out there thinks they figured out about Jack from a long time ago, or no? You know what I'm referring to, or no?
The family one?
No. Certain website we talked about? I'll text you.
Okay. If it's anything related, so some of you have been communicating with me a lot about his family and stuff. I'm never going to put that out. I never, even if it's pertinent to the chase.
Well, yeah, I would never bring that up. It has nothing to do with that. Okay.
Well, yeah, but it's related. So that's where, who do you think it will be? Holly, okay, wait, there was one before that. Packer Jack, when will Jack sell or auction the treasure? From what I understand, he is working through, I thought along, Okay, I got your text. Let me think about that, Mike, because
I don't believe it. I mean, we could say it, but I don't believe it's true because I don't see how it works.
okay.
Albert says yes. He doesn't even know what it is.
When will Jack auction? So what Jack told me maybe a week and a half ago is he is not exhausted completely where Forrest wanted it to go. He's willing to take even less money to make it work, but he's not saying why it's not working or what it is. That where Forrest eventually wanted the treasure chest to go. He believes that I might not be appreciating the relationship that him and Forrest had because I'm making it seem like he didn't go and meet him, which he didn't. There were some things that he said I had a relationship with him, but not like I do or others do. So it was more transactional, I think. And I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying it's true. If you're going for more money, go for more money, my friend. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. But I want to say like, well, that wouldn't be kind.
Here's
So
a little, I'm going to say this is breaking news from Why Must I Go? Why Must I Go on YouTube? He says, someone keeps emailing me that Ken Tinkersley was told the location by Forrest and Ken leaked it to Jack. I do not know the source. They are sending anonymous. I don't know anything about that. Maybe Kpro does.
I know a lot about that. And
Much like Douglas Preston, when asked, what do you know about the chase that nobody else does? He said, oh, I know a lot. And then he said, just kidding. So, yeah, why must I go? We've heard that. I don't know. I can't, give any merit to it because I don't know.
you know, the great part, well, see, he's getting it anonymously. I just went directly and I was supposed to be traveling to, I'll just say the people in general that we're talking about. I'm not going to say individuals because here's the hard part. There is somebody else that supposedly Forrest told the location. And they are getting really, really horrible threatening emails. And they said, don't talk about that. I don't know anything first, but second, I can tell you I don't think Tinkersley knows much of anything. I think the investigation I did, this was maybe a year, 6-9 months ago when they approached me about it. I did go to the source. I was going to actually travel there to get the full story. But if you get into it at all, well, I'll just say, I don't think at the end of the day they believe that there was a chest even out there, and this was like a bigger story about it being more of a spiritual journey by a person, etc. So if you don't believe there was a treasure chest out there, go down this rabbit hole. Otherwise, I would not. I spent a lot of time on it, investigating, researching exactly what you're talking about. But everything's interesting to investigate. So, but I do know what you're talking about, and I did talk to several of those sources because some of them are in the same profession I am in. So I was able to kind of get a rapport pretty quickly. How can we ever figure out the location without the treasure there? There'd be no way to prove it. Albert, in my opinion, somebody is going to leak it. I believe at least 10, probably 12 people know at this point, and we know the saying, two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. I believe so many people know and are not at death's door, that I believe it will eventually come out. My opinion only. If I was betting on this like the Super Bowl and there's like, how's the solution coming out? Jack's going to tell us. That would be like 1 in 100. Jack gets a significant other. He tells them, they break up. There would be one from somebody in Jack's family, somebody in Forrest's family. One of the attorneys tells someone in their life. I think it's going to be kind of scandalous. It's kind of like, was it Masquerade or David Blaine? I think David Blaine, it was like his ex-girlfriend told somebody after they broke up, right, Mike?
David Blaine?
Yeah,
No, that was Masquerade. Masquerade, not David Blaine. Masquerade. Kit Williams. Yeah. There was a girlfriend of somebody that worked with him, and she heard the story, and that's how it got found. It got all messed up. Yeah, Why Must I Go says that's why I didn't discuss it in a video, because the source wouldn't even reveal a name. So yeah, Why Must I Go on YouTube, everybody. Now, Brian says, are you taking bids on the BIP book only or the whole collection? And I said both. Isn't that right?
Yes. So at this point, and actually it's going to be additional things from the collection, we are going to need to purge out some of the stuff. Some of the stuff I'm not, but some of the stuff I am willing to let go. So anything in the collection is going to be fair. I'm not going to say it could go, but it's anything in the collection, and then we have some additional things. Yeah,
I
go
could
ahead.
grab a couple books right now if we want to show a couple of things. No?
We're over an hour. That's why I didn't discuss in the video. Okay, so why I must go. The source did reveal his name to me, and it's actually, and I did get the information of how he got the information, and I spoke to that set of people, and then I spoke to the other group. There's like 4 levels of people, and it's kind of sad. So I don't know. I'll just say that it becomes it unravels really quick, and so I think Why Must Go is pretty thoughtful about how he presents things and verifies and things. I got kind of in deep quickly of the backstories of things, and it's kind of sad. So I'll just say, just some family dynamics and other things. So I mean, I don't know. We still have no way of verifying the leak. Albert, that's true. But it's kind of like the GPS solve. At least it would make sense, and we could verify some things. Like the GPS solve made sense to me. I'm not saying it's a. Travis says, I think Forrest told somebody. I think Forrest told Douglas Preston. I have no way to know that for sure. I think Douglas Preston knows. And I think it might be in his next book. I don't know. So anyway, I'm still trying. Okay, I'm caught up in chat. Yeah. What do you think, Mike?
There it is, everybody. An hour goes by just that quick, doesn't it? Yeah, before we leave, I'll tell everybody a joke. What do you think, Kpro? So Chinaman goes to the eye doctor and says, I got a problem. And the doctor says, you got a cataract. And he says, no, I drive a Rinkin Continental. Or there it is. Okay, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Why Must I Go says, what's the collection? Looking forward to it. Yeah, well, hopefully we're going to put a video up. Anything I say that makes Kpro cringe is worthy of a thumbs up, right? Make sure you guys subscribe. Monday we'll be back for Spend Treasure Found. Maybe, I hope we record the video over the weekend and we'll show it, the video, premiere it before we go live Monday. And we're kind of doing like a silent auction. There's a lot of just different things Forrest Fenn related, including the catalogs from Fenn Galleries. But anyway.
Wait, let me answer those 2 questions, though. What is the collection? So there was a searcher that did a ton of research, and she finally decided to let go of the chase maybe a year or 2 before it was found. She has things like every single Forrest Fenn, when he owned the gallery catalog. She had notes between Forrest and different people. She had the BIP book, which is a very rare collectible book. She had Finding Mabel. She had, oh gosh, $17 a square inch. She had, you name it, but she had a ton of backstory and research on a lot of it. I bought it, picked it up, got the backstories. We actually have a video of her walking through each piece of it. She's a cool person. She has a cool story. She's just an eclectic person like most of us. So it was really cool to meet her. So I acquired that maybe 3 years ago. This was before Mike and I were a real us, because it's actually not us. It was, I bought the collection, but we went together to go and pick it up because it was somebody, that's when I met Mike's mom and dad. Anyway, so that was the backstory, and I've decided a lot of people saw the collection because I was pretty open about it, and they wanted to see if I would ever sell. I said no for a long time, and a few of you have really hounded me, and that's okay. When are you going to sell? When are you going to sell? I'm at least willing to consider it. Mike and I may be moving, and I don't want to collect as many of those things. I just know there's a few of you that are like really into rare books. BIP is a really, really rare book. So is Finding Mabel and a few of the others. I won't appreciate it like you guys will.
The one with all the hand-drawn doodles and signatures from all those people in it is huge, including who did the Sacagawea dollar? Do you remember who that is?
No,
I can't remember, but she wrote a whole thing in there. It really is pretty cool. So we'll do a video to show all of it. It's going to be like a silent auction. You just email us and say, hey, I'm interested and I'll offer this, and we'll just figure out what we're going to do.
So somebody asked, who is Ken Tinkersley? So Ken is an academic up in the same area that Dan Barbarosi, and the same area that Jack, and the same area that a few other people are from. And he was a friend of Forrest from way, way, way back. And he maintains that he knows Fenn's special spot. This was not related to the chase. He was actually out on an excavation with him because he's an archaeologist. this is way back, maybe 20, 30 years ago, and he believes he knows the location. I'll just leave it at that. So that's who he is. Okay, I wish someone would auction off the first sharp book Forrest Fenn wrote in the 80s. Oh, yeah, that'd be
Do we have
interesting.
that? We have
don't
one of the
think so.
sharp books. I just don't know if that's the one or not.
I don't
But when we
know.
make the video, you'll see what we got, guys. So that's cool.
Kpro, could you show the video of her going through the collection? I won't show her because she's asked not to.
I'd have to find where that is. Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, and we would find. I think it's on the SD because we took
I can find it. Yeah,
took the video.
I could. Find
I not her. Well, we'd need to get permission from her. I think at the time she was a little hesitant. She is like the knowledgeable. She has all these backstories and who she talked to, and basically she would go every day on or every week onto eBay, and she would not put in Forrest Fenn because people were already grabbing stuff. She would put in the related people, and like the gallery name and and she would just collect little by little until she got this huge collection. I'd love to hear more about the spiritual journey search path. If you ever run out of content, that would be extremely interesting. I can revisit with Ken and crew. I would really need to look back into it. There's a dark side to this is all I will say. That really kind of made me sad during all of that. So because that's how it came out. I think can you spell the guy's name here? I don't know how to spell the guy's name.
what guy?
Tinkersley.
Oh,
So
Tanker, SLY. That's how you spell it.
okay, maybe. But I'll tell you at the end of it, that's the reason. You guys know I go down rabbit holes. There was no there. He said he thought he knew, but it was all about there wasn't a treasure involved. Anyway, I don't know. I just know of that whole situation, and it is very sad. That's all it was.
White Album. Why Must I Go says interview Godelkin and ask him about the White Book. I don't know what that is. Do you? I'm assuming it pertains to the chase, but I've never heard of the White Book. So interesting. And the plot thickens.
Dun, dun, dun. And that's the part that I think Cynthia, hopefully we're starting. She started. That's the reason I came forward with a few of the things that I wasn't. I just kind of put in the past. But I think it would be interesting to more and more hear different people's stories, journeys, situations, that sort of thing that can help us piece this together. Because I don't think Jack owes it to us, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I feel the same way about some of the people in the chase. I think there's 10,000 players in the chase, let's say, or 1,000. It doesn't even matter the number. I'm only one. Mike's only one. I don't think we play a bigger part. Like we might have an avenue to talk about it. Jack is only one. Now he's more than the average searcher because he found the treasure chest, but this is bigger than him. I think the people that sued, they had one piece of a 10-year situation and whole piece. And I believe every part of it. And I even said this to Forrest after the chase was over. He's like, why does anybody care anymore? And he's like, why is anybody even talking about it? And I said, Forrest, this is even bigger than you, because the treasure chest has been found. It's not about a treasure chest to some people. They want to know, can they find it? Were they right? Where was it? Give us the logic, because we lived through this for 10 years. He didn't get that. Jack does not get that. Him and Jack are alike. Neither of them got that. It's like, it's over. And I'm like, no, it's not over. So even though, Jack, I think you are important because you're more than the average searcher, this is much bigger, and it's much bigger than me or Mike or any individual, or even the Fenn family. This is bigger than all that. And that's why I think it's important to discuss it. And some people are socializing more. Some people are going on to other hobbies. Some people are going on to other treasure hunts. Some people are, okay. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those that you just kind of go, the one thing I will want to make clear, I will really repeat, Ken is not to be bothered, because he will be pretty abrupt with his responses. I wouldn't go down that road at all. That's the one thing I will definitely say, and that can be echoed by anyone who has. I think he was nice, but he was very curt, and I do not think he wants to explore this with the search community. Anyway, so yeah, exactly. Anyway, I just wanted to say. What was I talking about before that? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked there for a second. Just the chase is bigger than any one. So anybody that says like, take your marbles and go home, it's like, go home and we're going to sit around and talk about it. People sit around and talk about the Kennedy assassination. Was it a conspiracy? Wasn't it? It's not personal. It might be one of us. Like somebody was just talking about me today about why am I looking more focused on content? That's where I'm at. But I'm just one person who cares about me. And I don't know.
Kitchen table by the pepper and the salt. You can begin your adventure.
All right, everybody, there it is. We provide an hour for you guys to talk in the chat, right? We have some fun, little soundboard, good content, updates on the thrill of the chase and where it's at. And yeah, we do it Monday night. Sometimes Thursdays is the treasure hunting amusement park, but sometimes we just want to sit down and talk about Forrest Fenn. So make sure you subscribe for more content and more treasure hunts. Somebody's going to do a big one. Someday, I hope in the near future, there will be a rival to the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. Somebody out there is going to do it. We thought it was going to be HBO Treasure Man, but that didn't happen. So somebody out there, I think, is going to do it. And when they do, we will have all the info here. Bobby points out he still has his masterclass going on. Email Bobby Dunbar for that info. And then the whole mysterious writings treasure hunt comes out, I think, Saturday. So maybe we'll talk about that at some point. We'll see. All those 9 different creators and all that. Copper Dan's in there, Dustin and Deidre. Kind of cool stuff. And there it is, Albert. We just did. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We hope you have a good Thursday night and a good weekend. And we will see you guys next time. We're going to make that video on the collection, and we'll premiere it either Monday night or it might go live over the weekend. You never know. So let us know if you're interested, and make sure you subscribe because then you'll be notified when that goes live. Anything else, Kpro?
No, and I want you to know only half of you guys are subscribed. We looked at some analytics today. Only half of you. What's wrong with you? You need to be subscribed. You need to be, because you never know when we will go live.
Well, it's free. All you got to do is use your Gmail account to log into YouTube and hit the subscribe button. It's just that easy. Okay, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thumbs up, if anything, for the retro shirt. This is what started it all about 4 years ago right here. And we'll see you guys Monday night. Have a good one. #Rinkin.